Yo, what up guys? Knowledge of Health here. It's been a minute since I made a video, and I've been really just wanting to make a couple videos lately, but I've been busy. But today I just want to talk a little bit about, is Bitcoin too expensive? Am I too late to Bitcoin? And the answer is no. I do not believe so. I think it's way early still. If you're looking at it, there's somewhat about 12 countries right now that are buying Bitcoin. There's legislation of all these states. I've seen at least 4 states that are trying to get Bitcoin reserves, and there's towns that have passed laws to get Bitcoin reserves. There's at least 20 publicly traded companies that their sole purpose is just to stack Bitcoin. Some of them billions upon billions of dollars of Bitcoin. And the supply is just about to dry up. It will definitely be, I think, $5 to $10 million in less than 20 years. Probably a lot less than 20 years. Probably more like 10 years. It could be at $1 million easily within like a couple years, 2-3 years. So that's 10x from here. It just hit a all-time high today. It was almost 110,000 last I looked at it, 109,800. Anyway, what you got to understand is the dollar is still being printed. You know, they say, conservatives, they don't want to spend as much money. We're actually spending more than when Biden was in office. Nothing has changed in terms of spending money. The reason Bitcoin has no top is because the dollar has no bottom. And if you look back at like Nvidia, I should have bought it, it's like 100x. This is that moment. And the thing a lot of people don't understand is that the market does not care what price you bought it at. You could be like, I bought it at 20,000 and sold it at 30,000. It has no bearing on the market. Past price has very little to do with future price. So I hear a lot of people say this, Bitcoin's too expensive. I've heard a lot of that. And it's like, based on what metric are you coming up with that? Because if entire countries are going to get into a race war of who can accumulate Bitcoin the fastest, if major companies are going to start accumulating Bitcoin, we're still early. I don't see Nvidia or Apple really having Bitcoin on their balance sheet yet. And it's a matter of time. It is only a matter of time. What is happening is Bitcoin is the perfect currency, and it is transitioning. It's the beginning stages of transitioning to the world reserve currency, because the dollar fails every year. The dollar falls about 9% a year on what you can buy with it, the purchasing power. Bitcoin gains about 62% a year, its purchasing power. So are you losing money or are you gaining money? To me, it's a no-brainer. And here's the thing. Most people are asleep still. Most people I talk to, I mention Bitcoin, they laugh or they tell me it's too expensive. The average person has no clue. No clue still. So, yeah, if it's not at $1 million within 2-3 years, something went drastically wrong. Maybe massive nuclear war. I don't know. That's the thing. A lot of people don't understand it. The way I look at it is simple physics. Do I want a money that is backed by time and energy? Meaning you can only mine it every 10 minutes. It's stuck in time, and it takes energy to produce. It's all backed through hundreds of thousands of computers all over the world. It's audited every 10 minutes. It takes energy to mine it. It takes energy to support the system. Time and energy is the most valuable resource we have. Think about this really quick here. If someone said, I'll give you $100 million, but you'll only have, let's say, 48 hours left to live if you take that. I don't think most people would take that. Even though it's a large number of money, I don't think most people would take that. Time is way more valuable than money, and energy is at least as valuable, if not more valuable, than money. Money is a representation of our physical energy. What they do to us is theft and robbery and highly immoral. They print more money because they owe money. They owe money to the future. They take out loans. All America is backed on loans. So they're stealing from our future, and they're also robbing us currently, because every single year the amount you can buy with $1 is less. In the 90s, you could buy an amazing home for like 50 grand. For what is now like 400 grand. 50 to 400 is a big increase. Let me think. Like, I think that's eight times increase or something. Like I don't know. But yeah, it's crazy. So like, the thing is though, are people really making 8 times the money? Like, let's see, my first job, it was probably the early 2000s, so not far from the 90s. But like, entry level, let's say $7 or $8 at McDonald's. Maybe actually it might have been like $6.50, $6.75. It was pretty low. Now maybe you can make double or triple that starting out, probably 12, 15, maybe $20 if you're lucky at some places. So let's just say, for the sake of numbers, double to triple. But you're not making 8 times, you're losing. And every year the groceries are costing more. The amount that things cost go up way faster than the wages are. So it is robbery, and it is highly immoral. Bitcoin is a money that is meant to go up in value. It is a fixed supply, and it is very divisible. It does everything gold does, but way better. Say you want to send $100 worth of gold to someone in the Himalayas right now. You gotta take your ounce of gold, probably hire someone to shave off that amount. You gotta ship it there, hope it gets there. Man, it's a headache. With Bitcoin, you can get it to him in I'm going to say easily less than 10 minutes. Easily less than 10 minutes with very minimal fees. No banks involved. No banks involved. It's giving people back their personal sovereignty. Let's just look at real estate. Even if you can buy a house outright, you work your butt off to pay a house outright, they can still raise the property taxes on you every year. So it's like the world, the United Nations or whatever, they have that saying at the World Health Organization, or I forget who said it, but it was that World Economic Forum. That's what it is. They say you will own nothing and be happy. Bitcoin is about our only chance at personal property rights. It is about people's only chance left to escape the matrix. And I'm all for stocks and this and that, but they can dilute the shares. There are people that own the companies that can make mistakes. So, if you're not getting a good portion into Bitcoin or using Bitcoin kind of like a savings account, if you're not doing that, life is getting more expensive for you. And I'm trying to wake people up, and they're just not getting it. You know, my earliest Bitcoin buys were in the 20 to 30,000 range. But I didn't know back then. I spent like $200 a couple times in that range. I just didn't know. I wasn't into studying it until about December of a little over, let's say close to a year and a half ago, is when I started studying it, making weekly buys. It was about, I was looking back at it, it was about 42,000. So all that money, about a year and a half ago, if it's at 109,000 right now, it's more than doubled. But the dollar, if you kept in dollars, you've lost money because we continue to print. So I'm trying to just sound the clarion call. If you're the person like, I don't understand it, I want to wait for a dip. People have been saying that forever. Oh man, it's at 80,000 now. I want to wait till it goes back to like 30,000 or something. I hear people say this. Just dollar cost average. With stocks, I'm all for finding a good entry point, reading the charts. Maybe you could do that with Bitcoin too, but Bitcoin kind of moves differently than stocks anyway. You can think of it more as a saving account. And yeah, maybe if you want to do some bigger buys, maybe time some of it, but in a certain sense, it's really hard to time the market. You could maybe wait for some of the RSI to go below 50 and it work off that a little bit. Maybe go sideways, but if you don't have any, start getting some. Put a good chunk in now, because it could skyrocket. It could easily be at $500,000 by the end of the year. In fact, it almost certainly will be. It almost certainly will be. It's just starting to get heated up. And I'm about to get home here, so I'll just leave you with this. If you're skeptical and stuff, at least read a book, look at a podcast, I would type in Jack Mallers, any of his podcasts, some of the Robert Breedlove, his original interviews with Michael Saylor. I will say look at the Bit by Bit podcast with Chris Johnson. I will say the books that I have read, Broken Money, and I'm going through, I believe it's called Thank God for Bitcoin. This is the book I'm going through right now. The Tuttle Twins, if you YouTube that on their Bitcoin, they got like a little 5-minute thing that makes it very easy to understand. So yeah, I could see if you're skeptical and don't know anything about it and wow, this is insane, this is fake internet money. No, the US dollar, the fiat currencies of various sorts, that's fake money. It's not backed by anything. Bitcoin is the hardest asset on the planet Earth, meaning it is hard to produce and there's a limited supply. So don't take my word for it, but if there is an asset like Bitcoin that has blown away every stock, every asset, real estate in the last 15, 16 years, it's outperformed all that stuff and it's not even close. Wouldn't it be worth reading a book? Don't be lazy. This can change your life. Just read a stinking book. Spend a couple hours on a podcast. Go watch 2 hours of Jack Mallers. Go read Broken Money. And if you're still against it, okay, but at least you educated yourself on the best performing asset of the last 20 years. All right, that's all I have. Peace.